Hey everybody, a special live edition of Denver After Dark at 11:30 a.m. midday. I didn't expect a lot, but of course when we do this, a lot of people come back on here. But today we're going to talk about Tylenol and leucovorin. We're going to have a little bit of fun with that. And I don't think I'm looking at this for Substack. I'm hoping it's up there. I think we are, but I want to make sure our stream is up there because I'm not seeing the. There we go. Here we go. Now it's rocking. So, but it's good to see everybody. I want to talk very quickly. This is sort of a midday snapshot. I try to do this in the middle of the week before we have our Sunday night big show, where it's, bigger than Jimmy Kimmel. No, Jimmy Kimmel was great this week. Fantastic to see him back on, and we can talk about that another time. But today I want to talk about Tylenol and autism, and I want to talk about money. I want to talk about follow the money, and I wanted to give you guys just my take on the Tylenol leucovorin bizarre press conference with Trump, with RFK Jr. standing back there wondering where his brainworm went. So here we go. So iHerb is a large natural supplement company. Dr. Mehmet Oz, the CMS lead, as you guys know, Dr. Oz from Oprah Winfrey fame, has between $5 million and $25 million in restricted stock units in iHerb. iHerb sells fulinic acid. Fulinic acid is leucovorin, which was stated in the press conference as something that could be used instead of Tylenol. Now, of course, all of us know that, look at scientific data and have been reading all this, that this bizarre claim that Tylenol is linked to autism based on pregnant women taking it is absolute hogwash. It's a lie. And it's an issue, especially when you see who actually has purported this. There is no scientific evidence. It's sort of this "Make America Healthy Again" that's targeted towards the ignorant, which is a big producer or a big consumer of this type of nonsense. The anti-vax crowd, the people that think, that our oak tree bark can cure liver cancer, those kind of idiots. So let's talk about iHerb. So when Dr. Oz, right, he gets in, right, Senate confirmation, immediately he has 90 days, right, to dispose of those RSUs, right, where he has to actually nail those off. Now, I know this because I was in Congress, so I know of which I speak. You have an ethics issue with these RSUs. So he has all these issues that he has with these restricted stock units. And like, Denver, what's an RSU? An RSU is a stock, right? A piece of the company. And, I have investors in my AI company. I've had investors in other companies. It's a piece of stock that has to be vested. That means you have to be part of the company for so long, or part of, right, your investment strategy is how long you invest in the company until that stock vests or it's worth exactly what it's supposed to be worth. I hope that makes sense. That's a restricted stock unit. When he comes into office, when he's confirmed, he also has to sign a waiver if iHerb is part of any of this. So my problem is this: when you look at what's happening, and this is all validated, you can go look at the ethics letters and you can look at actually what was submitted, is did he actually divest his RSUs in iHerb, which sells fulinic acid, leucovorin, or did he sign a waiver where he can profit off of iHerb? And why haven't any reporters asked this question? Where is the validated data that tells you that he's divested or he got a waiver letter? Now, think about this. If he got a waiver letter, that means he is profiting off of this. And then, so I go to fact check that. The fact check is from this bizarre sort of this planted non-fact check thing that's saying it's a fact check, saying that Dr. Oz was supposed to divest, so he's not making money. We don't know if he's divested, and we don't know if he signed a waiver letter. This is all easily validated, that he had RSUs, restricted stock units in iHerb, right? Or that he can't actually profit because they're talking only about fulinic acid as a prescription, leucovorin. Now, we can go into if leucovorin's effective in some of those things that it says to be effective, and maybe it is in some ways. But I'm going to tell you what this is: a shakedown against big pharma, but it's also a way for homeopathists, this "Make America Healthy Again" movement, which is actually "Make America Stupid Again" or "Ignorant Always." My is this. Folinic acid is going to be sold and it's going to be peddled to the stupid. And I'm sorry, that's just what they are, because they're going to believe that the government is right about Tylenol calling autism, which can you imagine parents of autistic children looking at this like, what is this freak show? This piece of shit saying this. What you have to look on the other side, though, is that just like with Wegovy and Ozempic, people now go to places like right, RO, to get GLP drugs to inject for weight loss. There's going to be a downstream effect where these health companies that sell folinic acid are immediately going to go out there and say this is much better than Tylenol or whatever because it's a moneymaker for these health companies. Now you say, well, Denver, what if he did divest? Well, there's still a downstream effect for the donors and the people that support President Trump and the Maha movement because they get more money to give back to the campaigns. This is a self-licking ice cream cone. And my mind explodes. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills that people don't see how easy this is. It also puts big pharma, however you want to define that, bad or evil, some people, that saved billions of lives. It puts big pharma on tilt too, because how do they react to this? Do they sue? It's very difficult. You can sue the federal government, but you have to go through specific steps. It's so funny. Had people say, Denver federal government can't sue sovereign immunity. I'm like, you need to read some more, right? There's ways around that, right? Especially congressionally. The midterms in 2026, and that's a whole nother show. That's a half hour to an hour show. But you can look this up. What I'm telling you guys, there's never a time where I'm going to tell you something that you can't go and say, oh, Denver's exactly right. Here's what an RSU is. Here's what Dr. Oz had. Here's his wealth in iHerb. Here's who sells folinic acid. Oh, here's the lying disinformation that says that he can't profit because it's just prescription when we know there's a downflow. We also know that cascading effect is other people who believe in this movement or are grifters are able to capitalize on this. So that's what's happening. That's why I wanted to talk today, is that this is a money thing. This is something that's putting people at risk so that people in the administration can profit. That's what it looks like. Now, here's the thing. If Dr. Oz comes out and says, here's when I divested and I didn't sign a waiver, say, well, great. But can you look at iHerb, look at all the people that are selling these type of supplements, see who gave to Donald Trump, and I bet it's most of them. Just go take, we can look at FEC reports. Or how about the downstream people, the people who own stock? Very difficult to find people who own stock in a private company. You wouldn't know most of the time unless there's an ethics, right, type of material that you can access, an ethics form, an ethics input that you can access. So we should be able to publicly access exactly what Dr. Oz put in there so you can go look at that letter. It's so funny, right? Because the first thing when I see something like this, people say, oh, they're stupid. Oh, they're ignorant. Yes, maybe. But if they're deliberately obtuse and deliberately ignorant to sell a product downstream or to extort big companies to make sure they give, or that they have some other issues that they need to get out of the way, and they know that they can squeeze them, or if people in the administration have stock, or their families have stock, or their friends have stock, or there's a downstream effect on their biggest donors. That's why we have one of the most corrupt governments in the world right now, is what you saw with this Tylenol announcement. Look it up, validate it, follow the money. You don't have to try to pretend that they're stupid or they're deliberate or they actually think that Tylenol is bad, for pregnant women taking it, or that folinic acid or leucovorin, and look this up, is the new miracle cure. All this is a baseline about money and how to manipulate the markets so that eventually the family in charge, this new monarch, this new sort of this quasi-authoritarian regime, right, is able to profit off mining the ignorant and mining this Maha movement, which is completely misnamed. This is snake oil. This is the medieval, make America medieval again. Mama. It's the Mama movement. So anyway, that's why I wanted to talk about today with Tylenol. I know that usually I go a little bit longer, but let's keep it under 10 minutes. I enjoy everybody. I hope you, Sunday night, hope you join me at 9 a.m. or 9 a.m. That's ridiculous. 9 p.m. So that we can have a lot of fun, which we do on Sunday nights. And also ensure that you subscribe, share this with your friends. I need to be big because I ain't charging for it, guys. This is going to continue to be free. But if you could subscribe on YouTube and Substack, I would be forever grateful. Because, hey, that's where I'm at. Follow me on socials. And just wait till I get up on TikTok. And now I have Denver After Dark on TikTok, which I'm starting to get into, but it sort of sucks. I hate it. But I think I need to utilize it. So thank you, guys. But again, Look at Tylenol. Look at the fact how they extort big pharma. Look at leucovorin and folinic acid. Look at the companies that own it. Look at Dr. Oz and his restricted stock units between $5 and $25 million in iHerb. See if he actually signed a waiver letter or he divested. And even then, if you look at the companies that are behind folinic acid and leucovorin, I bet they're big donors of Trump. And I bet there's some kind of leverage here on big pharma that they're looking to do where they even make more money now. So, hey guys, welcome to the United States of Corruption. I'll catch you. It's going to get worse before it gets worse. This is Denver After Dark, and I'll see you guys on Sunday night. Take care.